especially when you consider its fair launch and wide initial distribution. Their token was primarily distributed to the existing community on Farcaster, allowing users to earn points for things like shares, likes, and comments. These points could later be redeemed for degen tokens, and this massively boosted the early interest surrounding the project. I mean, early users were rewarded with a whopping $10,000 worth of degen on average. That's why right from the get-go, there was a dedicated army of D-gentlemen who fully bought into the project and helped it gain momentum quickly. But degen didn't stop there, as it shocked the crypto world by releasing its own Layer 3 blockchain called Degen Chain, which uses degen as its native token. Layer 3 blockchains are built on top of Layer 2 blockchains, and they're currently the biggest rage in the crypto world. So this was a smart move by the team, because although degen started off as more of a meme coin, it now has way more utility due to having its own chain. And their chain was immediately flooded by those who wanted to launch their own meme coins, as well as people bridging over to buy them. All this made their initial adoption numbers quite jaw-dropping. In the first 48 hours after launch, Degen Chain saw 3.5 million transactions, $10 million bridged over, and 96,000 new addresses. On top of that, builders immediately jumped on board, creating giveaways, minting NFTs, and creating games with Degen prizes. So all this made their fully diluted market cap rocket from $500 million to over $2 billion in the span of a week. And that is ridiculous considering that they did no flashy marketing or influencer campaigns, and that this was completely driven from the ground up. So that's for sure impressive. But you know me, I gotta be fair and discuss its weaknesses as well. Like, I know I said that Degen's Layer 3 was a strength, but in many ways, the jury is still out on that front. There's actually quite the fierce debate about the need for Layer 3s in general, with many of crypto's biggest voices speaking out against it. Vitalik recently tweeted that he doesn't feel that they, quote, magically improve throughput, even if they can reduce some of the fixed costs. But the CEO of Polygon, Mark Boyron, was even harsher with his words. He slammed L3s, saying that they're futile and that you don't need them to scale, which is why Polygon Labs would never be adopting them. He's certainly not mincing his words there, and his sentiment is shared by many across the crypto world. So this is a potential weakness for Degen, right? Because if it turns out that the critics are right, then the long-term adoption for Degen Chain will for sure suffer. Now, another weakness that's super important comes from Degen's tokenomics. Because although they had a truly fair launch, as of now, only 40% of their tokens are in circulation, with a flood of emissions on the horizon. 70% of the token distribution was allocated to 3 airdrops, and there's only been one of those so far. Their second airdrop is finalizing at the end of this month, and the third, containing a massive 25% of all Degen tokens, comes after that. This is a huge amount of tokens that are waiting to drop, and it makes me nervous about the potential selling pressure that could cause. Anyhow, so far we've only been looking inwards, focusing on the strengths and weaknesses of Degen. But something that we're missing here are the external factors that may not be in their control, but will affect them just as much. One of these external factors are the opportunities that Degen has. And the first one, once again, has to do with Farcaster. You see, the Farcaster ecosystem is super active and is absolutely booming at the moment. According to Dune Analytics, their all-time revenue surpassed $1 million in April, and its number of users has surpassed 300,000. One of these users is Vitalik Buterin himself, who has said that he uses Farcaster more than X these days. That is quite the endorsement for the platform.
从简单生活出发，看见美好日常，一样无标签。
And this is definitely an opportunity for Degen, which is currently the most hyped project in that ecosystem. Degen is doing a great job riding this wave by offering Farcaster members a bunch of cool perks. For example, users can get Degen tips for posting great content, which can then be used to claim tokens in future airdrops. But also, there's the fact that community members can permissionlessly launch new projects on top of Degen Chain and can also use Degen's token to power their own projects. So this has made Degen an integral part of the whole Farcaster ecosystem, meaning that if Farcaster continues to rocket, then so too will Degen. But putting that aside for the moment, there's another opportunity that Degen can take advantage of, and that's the recent meme coin mania. Like it or not, meme coins have been absolutely dominating this bull market, becoming the best performing sector of them all. In Q1 of this year, the average returns for the top meme coins were a wild 1,300%, which is nearly 5 times that of real-world assets, the next best performing sector. This means that the opportunity for degen is mind-blowing because of its meme coin focused L3. Degen chain could see its usage and adoption absolutely rocket if meme coin season continues to run. And if the bull market continues and retail really joins the party, then it's pretty much a given that meme coins will run. So the opportunities are clearly there, but what about the potential threats along the way? As that's also an important external factor to consider. Well, the first one is that we may have to pump the brakes a little bit when it comes to meme coins. I know, they have been crushing it lately, but that's just one side of the story. We can't ignore the fact that meme coins are still insanely risky, and the vast majority of them could go to zero in the long run. It's the ultimate case of survivorship bias, as for every meme coin millionaire we see, there are countless people who lost their money gambling on them. So my point is that this mania cannot last forever, and we're potentially already seeing signs of it starting to cool down. So the million-dollar question becomes whether meme coins can regain their momentum, because if not, then there's a serious question of whether degen can sustain its rise. But besides that, there's another threat that degen faces, which is all the competition out there. As the layer 3 narrative heats up, it's no surprise that there are a ton of projects looking to capitalize on it. These include established players like Cosmos or Polkadot, but also new ones like Zai, Momoka, and StarkX. The competition in this sector is fierce, and it could be a real challenge for degen to keep its first mover advantage / market share. So it's definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. But anyways, we've now completed a full SWOT analysis for degen, which would make any business school professor proud. But the real question is it worth the hype? Well, my personal verdict is yes, it is. Because I absolutely love how it was built from the ground up by a dedicated and passionate community. And I think this is its killer advantage moving forward. Also, I don't want to make any guarantees, but I think the meme coin craze does have some room to run, and degen is in prime position to take advantage of that. So that's my take. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you like this series, then you gotta subscribe, as we're gonna do the same thing for Ondo Finance and Wormhole next.
This one goes there.
It's me, you're the PS5. Tell me which of us is more your type. Seems like you can't decide. So if it's not me, then I'm probably gonna run it over.
You think this is something? You think this is bad? This chicanery? He's done worse. That's billboard. Are you telling me that a man just happens to fall like that? No, he orchestrated it. Jimmy, stealing them blind ever since he was 9. Always the same. He'll never change. Never. What was I thinking? Couldn't be precious Jimmy. He defecated through a sunroof.